Thank you for staying tuned. Let's take a peep into the debt and currency markets. Chioma Udu, fixed income dealer at GT Bank, joins us from the FMDQ marketplace. Good morning, Chioma. Thank you for coming through to us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we saw a bearish sentiment at the Treasury bill segment yesterday, while the bond market closed bullish. So what were the major drivers at the market yesterday?
Okay, let's starting from the Treasury bills market. We've not seen a lot of activities at the Treasury bill space because of the restriction for domestic and individual investors to participate at the on the OMO Treasury bill. So we've seen reduced activity. The selling we saw there are people trying to discount to try and take advantage of the primary auction we have today. CBN has a primary auction, the Debt Management Office is offering 132 billion at the primary auction today. And with most of the maturities, 90 billion at the long end of the curve. We expect a moderation of rates at that end as we have seen the restriction from investors, local investors to participate at the OMO bills.
All right, so basically the primary auction, looking at today's trading now, which of course has started, the primary auctions will basically shape the market for today, right?
Yes, the primary auction will shape the market for the T-bill curve today.
So what are we expecting at the end of that?
We expect that there's going to be moderation in rates across all tenor because there's a lot of liquidity in the system. Opening today, we opened about 450 billion long, coupled with the fact that we expect about 300 billion to come into the system, OMO maturities, and we have not a lot of assets for this liquidity to be invested in. So we're going to see a lot of interest at the primary auction today, and that will cause moderation in rates across all the tenors.
All right, let's look at the currency side. How is the Naira behaving?
For the I&E window, the rates are currently at about 361 levels to a high of 362. There's liquidity in that space. And then for CBN, they have continued to intervene in the space, through the wholesale and the retail, and also intervention for SME and invisibles.
All right, thank you, Chioma, for your time, and have a good morning. All right, in the UK, Brexit looks like dominating the headlines again today, with Boris Johnson having secured a 12th December general election. Let's bring in Juliana for the London Market Report. Good morning, Juliana. Well, December 12 election is done deal. What would businesses like the major parties to pledge in their election?
Good morning, Chimisi. Well, it's a done deal, sort of. The bill still has to go through the House of Lords, which is precedent in this country. Once something passed through the House of Commons, it needs to get the sign-off. But it will get the sign-off. But The Economist this morning, they were calling this December the 12th election the Brex election, which means there's really just one thing everybody's voting on, which is Brexit. We've got the smaller opposition parties, the Liberal Democrats and the Scottish National Party, really focusing on trying to revoke Article 50, which in turn would mean that they would be stopping Brexit altogether. Of course, the Conservatives, Boris Johnson, is voting on the slogan of getting Brexit done, and then the Labour Party may potentially be voting for a second referendum. But there have been a number of surveys that have been done over the past 3.5 years, and the most recent survey that was done did show that out of the entire European continent, it's British CEOs that feel the least confident. And also, as well, some analysts have been speaking to them overnight, and they want this populist wave of politics, which has really been sweeping the world since Donald Trump took over, to stop. And they don't want sloganism politics. They want this general election to focus on growth and jobs. So it's a mixed bag, but Brexit being the key thing that will determine the outcome of this result.
We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Anyway, how are the markets receiving this latest news on Brexit?
Well, interesting. This morning, the FTSE 100 was down about 12 points, really. You know, they have seen a lot of toing and throwing over the past couple of years, especially the couple of months with Brexit. So that's not pushing sentiment at the moment. Really, what they're all waiting for is whether or not Jerome Powell, the Fed Reserve chairman, will cut interest rates. Some people are saying it's over 90% of likelihood that he will cut those interest rates. So it would be interesting to see how markets are reacting at intraday. At the moment, the sterling is trading at about $1.28, so it's just nudged up slightly on the dollar this morning.
And what companies and the economic news should we be looking out for today?
Well, I suppose the biggest story of today will be Apple, really. Apple, because it is the world's largest company. It's the world's largest listed company, valued at about $1.1 trillion. They'll be releasing their Q3 results. And I suppose most people will be looking at one thing, and that's the iPhone, and whether or not sales have surpassed what people expected them to, especially because they released that new iPhone 11 Max, which is valued at more than $1,000 a piece. There are some economists that do believe the iPhone is going to beat expectations and will prove that it is still the world's most popular phone. And also, they recently released their earbuds, and the earbuds, AirPods, that look like earbuds, they have been doing much more better than the markets expected. So Apple, all eyes will be looking at them because, of course, if you are the world's most expensive company, if you're doing well, it's a good sign for everybody else.
Right, Julian, I'm sure you'll have more updates for us later in the day. Thank you. Enjoy this morning, actually, because I'm going to see you in the afternoon. All right. Now, there is this news filtering in that BUA plans to merge with CCNN.
Correct. I mean, that's a press release that came out from BUA Group yesterday. Currently, I think the assets of BUA actually encompasses the 2 million metric tons that CCNN, which is a listed company in the stock exchange, does. And now they also have the Obu cement plant, and I mean that contributes to about 6 million metric tons now to what they actually produce. Now, you recall that last year, BUA Group as well as CCNN also had a synergy on the Kalambena Sokoto cement in Sokoto State. They've done the first phase of that particular plant, and I understand that these agreements or these mergers and acquisition, if it comes through, will eventually help them to complete the second phase of it by the second half of next year. That's 2020. That's the projection as things are right now. So at the end of the day, what BUA is targeting and is hoping to have will be to make it the second largest cement company after Dangote Cement in Nigeria, and that will bring the total of the production, cement production of BUA Group in collaboration or in partnership with the CCNN and Cement Company of Northern Nigeria to 11 million metric tons at the end of the day. Now, this is expected to be some kind of a consolidation effort that will take place in the market. We do hope that at the end of the day, it will be of huge benefits to a lot of investors, because this is a company trading around 12 naira 50 kobo. That's CCNN, which is listed. So perhaps by the time BUA comes on board, it will be more profit for investors.
Okay, we wish them luck. Anyway, thank you, Temple. The day has just started, and despite the rain, I guess it's going to be a good day.
Sacked us today.
It's okay. All right, and that's a wrap on the program. Thank you for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago.